Is the 2025 Chevrolet Equinox RS worth the price, considering the LT is about 10 grand less at a base price, and you can still option features that's in this? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and this year we get a refresh. It's more bold, more modern, more technology. Back in 2022, we received a refresh as well, adding 5 horsepower in 2023. This is a carryover for the powertrain, CVT or 8-speed automatic transmission, depending on front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive configuration. In the front, standard LED headlights and daytime runnings that integrate into the glossy black for the top portion of the grille, into the bow tie, as well as the glossy black for the whole fascia, because this is the RS, which is sporty style, whereas the Active, it's the same MSRP as this. You can option the same features as this, but it's gonna look more off-roadsy. But going to that question again, is it worth paying 5 to 10 grand more just because of aesthetics? Because underneath the hood is going to house the same 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo that produces 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, because we have the all-wheel drive configuration. That's achieving 24 mpgs for the city, 29 mpgs for the highway, which you're going to lose 2 and 1 mpgs when you go to the front-wheel drive, and it's going to configure that CVT transmission. To me, that's a con. I would go to this extra step because I just don't like CVT transmissions. The wheels are going to start off with a 17-inch for the LT. Goes up to a 20-inch. These are 19-inch carbon flash wheels, and I think it fits the aesthetic because everything's blacked out because of the RS, matching the paint color, except for the fenders and the side sill, which here I'll let it slide because you're still under 40 grand. The roof rails, they're raised, so you can use tie downs. You don't have to pay extra. If you want to put the crossbars, you could. It'll make it look a little bit more aggressive, but at that point, go into the Active. We do have the safety and technology package, which also adds to the standard safety features, giving us a digital rear view mirror, a 360-degree reverse camera, in which this is a smaller SUV. You could go either way with it. I mean, if you have it on the lot, maybe try to work a deal. But if you're ordering one, I would say you can live without that and the panel moonroof, because you'll save a couple of grand whenever you're going into this tier. But I would option the Convenience Package 3 because it gives you a lot of interior components that this is lacking, like ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, and power seat adjustment for the passenger. As for competition, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, Volkswagen, they're all going to be more money to get features like this, and the styling to it, I think they blew it out of the park. I mean, let me know your thoughts on that. Standard LED taillights, and it kind of forms an X into the bow tie badging. The lower is going to get the gloss black, and it looks like it has exhaust outlets, but this is where the con comes into play. You don't need to put the fake aesthetics on the exterior. It's a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. You're not expecting this to be on the track. I get it. You got the RS, so you're making it look more sporty, but it's not changing the powertrain. That's really why I'm saying, is it worth spending the extra $5,000 or $10,000 to get something that's a family vehicle? It's not going to increase anything for a 0 to 60. Stopping distance to this, 60 to 0, is like 125 feet. This is just an everyday vehicle. So if you're looking for the style aesthetics, I mean, by all means, tick the box for the RS or the Active so you get the off-roadsy look. But if you're looking to get the value, I would say get the LT. Power liftgate is standard on this trim, going into 29.8 cubic feet of storage. It does sit up a little bit. We have a 12-volt charger. Underneath the floor has some storage as well as a spare tire, and because I'm tall, I can fold down the rear seats at that 40-60 split to maximize the cargo to over 63 cubic feet of storage. It is about 0.4 cubic feet less than the prior, but what I like is even on the LT, you can option this with the Convenient Package 2. The key fob for the new Equinox RS. Evoque Tech is standard with heated front seats, 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, because we have the Convenience Package 3, which adds ventilated front seats, memory for the driver, with RS badging, contrast stitch in red, as well as piping. It's perforated. And you can see the refresh coming into the interior. You'll have that glossy red with the black on the circular air vents. It's more sporty when you go RS. Flat bottom steering wheel, it's wrapped. Let's fire it up. Because we have the safety and technology, we have this digital rear view mirror. Dual climate control settings is standard, as well as a wireless charging pad with a large storage here, 2 USB ports. Look at what you got underneath. A full pass-through, a little storage here, and this curved one-panel screen that integrates a 11.3 touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM AM FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, Amazon Alexa, Google Maps, Google Assist, Google Play Store, and it has the pinch and the swipe, as well as the 360-degree reverse camera, because we have the safety technology package added, which, because of all of the features that we have total, I don't know if I would add this, because it's a smaller vehicle, so you can see from the interior there isn't really any blind spots. In the driving modes, we have normal, off-road, snow and ice. I like that they make it simplified so it's kind of in the center. And the dashboard has this carbon fiber look that goes through it, which is kind of cool, as well as actual physical button, which everybody likes that, as well as down here for the climate control, because we don't want to do everything through the infotainment screen. However, to turn the lights on and off, this is a con to me, you have to do it through this infotainment screen. So there's still a lot of things that you have to function there. The gauge cluster is an 11-inch. It can go through an array of different content, including the turn-by-turn navigation. The dashboard is flat with 6 speakers standard with a long pano moonroof that's about $1,000 extra. So I don't know, again, adding all these features, it's a vehicle that doesn't increase in performance. So when you're doing that, is it worth it? Let me know in the comments. Leg space, it's not bad. Because we have a pass-through, it helps. But for the passenger side, it is going to be tight. As for headspace, it's workable. Door panel dash, configuring together nicely, and I really think this stands out a lot more so than any of the other trims, especially if you're thinking about the Active. You might want to look at this. The gloss black comes into play with a long storage pocket. It's just not so wide, and whether you option this or the Active, it's going to be the same price. So it is something also to take in consideration, because this could be a better deal if you're looking for the style aesthetics. For the back seat, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more with cup holders and an armrest, because we have the convenience package 3. That's why we have heated rear seats, air vents in the center with USB ports. There isn't any storage tier down here. That would be that way for the LT. Storage behind both of the front seats. Leg space is not going to be an issue at all. As for headroom, the same thing, I can fit. It does contour inwards here and kind of bulges out because of the pano, but it's still workable. Door panel, same segment that's found in the front with a smaller storage pocket. Sliding into the center, the floor is more or less flat, so you're not going to be really sharing any feet space, which is awesome for the size of this vehicle. Butt, leg, and shoulder space, the same thing. There's just a lot of value. Is it worth every penny? I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments, because for me, as a daily driver, I would consider this, but I don't know. Should you consider the RS? Is the RS worth it, or should you just go into the base tier? Because it's about 5 to 10 grand more. You can option most of the same features, excluding the ventilated front seats, the heated rear seats, and the passenger power seat. But you're getting the same power option underneath the hood. So for an everyday vehicle, I mean, I would definitely do all-wheel drive, because you're not getting that CVT transmission where you get that with the front-wheel drive configuration. You get an 8-speed here. Sound deadening is going to be basically the same. These are 19-inch wheels, and you can also option 19-inch wheels on the LT. I think Chevy did an excellent job with the reworking of their vehicles in putting this one screen panel with 2 different configurations, an 11 and 11.3 inch screen, is awesome. But the simple facts still lie. Which one is better to go with? I would probably go LT and add the convenience package 2. But if they have this on the lot and they're trying to work a deal, I might go this way, because I do like the exterior. It looks awesome. A lot better and more dynamic. It looks more bold. The interior, I like the aesthetics that they give, and you can still get the same seat material in the LT also. So when you're thinking about overall deal, yeah, you're going to be paying about 31, 32 grand to get the convenience package 2 on the LT. But think about the competition. Toyota, Honda, Volkswagen, Mazda, none of them are going to have this same pricing. Even going into Subaru, in which Subaru is going to have a CVT transmission. This you can option the 8-speed. So that's why this ticks the box for that everyday use and total value that you're capturing. The drive is comfortable, the seats are good, the seat bolstering is nice. It's not as long as I would like, but it's doable for an everyday. My knees are not sitting up in the air, so I can actually enjoy the drive. And because we have the tech and the safety package added, we get the 360-degree reverse camera, we get the digital rear view mirror. These are things that's not even found in some of the competition. Before we go to the pros and cons, I just want to throw this out. Think about a luxury vehicle. They don't even give you standard ventilated seats and you're paying $50, $60, and $100,000. Yes, you're getting more performance underneath the hood, but I'm getting ventilated, heated front seats, heated rear seats, the digital rear view mirror, a 360-degree reverse camera. Wow, under $40,000 have you? Now going into some pros and cons, you've heard a ton of pros about this vehicle and you've heard some mixed cons in there also, but I'm gonna just go into the cons. The powertrain, I wish that they changed it and gave us a little bit more performance, because 175 horsepower, it's enough to get it motivated, don't get me wrong, but you're gonna be around 9 to 10 seconds 0 to 60. By no means this is a fast vehicle, and when you're getting up onto the interstate, it's fast on a low note for that turbocharge, but when you're pushing it, it starts getting a little tired. And that's the same thing that happens with Mazda and pretty much everybody. Now, I know I'm gonna hear people in the comments say something to the effect that, well, I mean, it's fast, I get on the interstate. The example I'm giving is when you're trying to merge onto the interstate, it's busy, there's some tractor trailer trucks, and you gotta go over. When you cut in front of them, they don't have stopping distance. This doesn't have the greatest stopping distance either. It's about 165 feet from 60 to 0. So that being said, add all that to the equation, you're gonna start slowing down traffic because it's going to take you a little bit longer to get up to the speeds of the traffic, meaning 70 or 75 miles per hour. The nice thing though is you get the adaptive cruise control. We have the lane keep assist. You have a ton of safety features that's incorporated with this, and if you want to unlock all the features, it's like $1,000. I mean, that's amazing. Turn radius is about 3 lanes, which is not going to be the best, but it works. Give her a go. The engine's pretty throaty for the most part. I like that it's a turbo 4 instead of a turbo 3. They did a good job with that, but I do feel that they have held back with what they could have potentially given us for the Equinox. And they do the same thing with Buick, and they do the same thing with Cadillac. I don't know why they don't just give us all of the features, meaning giving us more performance, more technology, not necessarily nickeling diming us for an extra feature or 2. I'm all right with adding the convenience package, either 2 for the LT or 3 for the Active or this RS, because it gives you a lot of value. But the safety, I mean, once you start going up the tier, it's around $5,000 difference. You're just getting aesthetics. Why are you not throwing those things in? But then when I'm coming back to reality, thinking about the competition, they're doing the same darn thing. At least we can option features here, which is awesome, because you can't do that when you go into Honda, and even Toyota is starting to kind of limit the features that you can add to the trims, or you have to go into a certain trim in order to add features, which it's the same thing here, don't get me wrong, with the ventilated heated seats scenario, but you're also expecting to have that because the LT, why would you option every feature there? Then there's no point of going to the RS or the Active. We got it in normal mode because there's no sport mode, and this is the RS, so that's a con to me. So you can see the offline with the 175 horsepower. Let's rock and roll. So from light to light, not gonna be an issue. Anything in the 45 to 50 mile an hour range, even if you need to go a little bit faster, you're going to be okay there. But like I'm saying, once you start getting up to 70, 80 miles per hour, it does start getting a little bit tight with the speed. That was an interesting accident. I don't even see the other car or what happened to it there. I guess it was that truck that we just passed that accidentally tapped them. For maneuverability, it's not an issue. The vehicle does feel wider. It doesn't feel long, so I like that. And you are sitting up higher, which I don't like the way the seat sits upward so much. It kind of has the feel of Toyota and Hyundai. But overall, the total package that you're getting, it's definitely worth every penny. But would I go to the RS? Unless there's a deal on it, I hate to say it, I would go to the LT. This is an everyday vehicle. You can do wrap aesthetics on the exterior. The refresh for the interior, they just did an excellent job because you have more storage capacity than I would say Honda, Toyota, and even Mazda, especially for the front. Even in the back, they give you a little bit more. The door panel, it's gonna be a little bit small for my liking, but because we got a full pass-through, the wireless charging pad is right there where it needs to be. They've moved the gear lever on the steering column, so it is a lot more cleaned up in the center. The driver focus setup, I can kind of live without, but it works because I feel like I'm in somewhat of a lifted up sports car. I know it's not. But then on the passenger side, we are starting to sacrifice a ton of leg space, especially if you're over 6 foot tall. It's going to be a little bit more cramped. And when you're sitting on that side, you can't really see the infotainment screen. It's kind of more towards me or the driver. The same thing with the climate control, even though you have a dual climate control setup. Maybe they should tweak that a little bit so it kind of makes it more passenger friendly instead of just driver focused. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Morgan Chevrolet for giving us this 2025 Chevrolet Equinox RS for our car review.